Hey guys, Matt here. It's the Broken Supercoach checking in. Yeah, it's Monday morning, 10 a.m. Figure we'll run through some Supercoach action. Reset was last night. It's pretty early. 23-22 this week. Not bad. Ignore that I've done two trades already. I've reversed them for you, but I had a look at my phone quickly last night. Went up only 1,000, so still at rank 20 odd K. But as you'll see, I got the proofs. I had a 0. You guys would have seen I had English sitting on my ruck bench. So, yeah, I got the 0 there. So I'll take 23-22 with a 0 on field. If that's another 100, that's a 2,400 score, which is well above par. So the team's coming together well. Yep, low on trades. Concerned about that. Bye weeks are coming up in the next couple of weeks. So you don't really want to be doing a huge amount of trading unless you absolutely have to. And I think there's probably 2 trades to do this week, but I'm not sure we do any next week. But there's definitely 2 to do this week just because of who's available. So let's have a look how the team went, run through the lines as we love doing. Hopefully that's zoomed in enough for you guys. Maybe we'll do it one more for you. So defense is looking really nice. Yeah. I wasn't sure that Coleman was going to back up his 90. We'll start with Coleman. I wasn't sure he was going to back up his 80 odd against the Crows with another 100. I might start fielding him. Adelaide and Hawthorn are easy to score against, though. GWS, you don't think he'd score as well, but might start fielding him based on, Dacos and Mccarten will be on field. So you'll see what I do with trades, but Coleman will probably end up on the field for me here because I'm not going to bring in any premium defenders this week. We got the main 4 that I've been running with. Sicily, Hewitt, Dawson, and Short all look great. Short playing midfield minutes probably gets DPP at round 12. Defense mid option. Meaningless because you play him in the defense line. Sicily, D1. I'm glad we grabbed him when we did. Could have got him for a lot cheaper at the start of the year. Had him in my team every now and then. So disappointing I didn't have the guts because he's gone up, 165k. So, yeah, really good pick. And now if you don't have him, that's a very big ask. Is that his number? The real D1, though, is Hewitt, who just looks unbelievable. And this will be the only year we get Hewitt as a defender mid, you'd think. Next year, he will be mid only. And Dawson, yeah, I hate to pat my own back on this, but he's been that good this year. Since I spoke about him, I think I spoke about him at the end of round 7, saying he's looking like he's making that move to the wing. It was on 130, 107, 130. We've had him for 2 weeks now. So these are the type of numbers I'm going to expect from Dawson for the rest of the season. He's DPP. Sure, he looks crisp. Like he looks a really good player. And no pun intended, being that I traded out crisp. He looks very nice in the defense. Gibcus just doing his thing, and yeah, Coleman making us some serious money. Break even to -3, with a buy in round 14. So we're really happy with Coleman. That's a really nice late pick out that we traded for Ridley. And if we have him on field, we've actually lost almost no points over Ridley by doing this trade. So even though he hasn't been on field, so technically we have, but really happy with this Coleman pickup. And he also can sit in the forward line if we want to hold on to him, which we might do when we get rid of SDK in round 12. Not a lot to talk about there. I don't think you're bringing any defenders in. You probably can trade Gibcus now. Whether you want to keep leaking cash out of Dawson or you want to seal the deal and trade him now. Dacos, rather. I think I said Dacos. Might have said Dawson. I meant Dacos. Whether you want to seal that money raise in, you probably can. I probably will this week just because of the way the lines are going to go. You do want players to take you through the buy if they've got favourable buys, but you also don't want to miss out on too much cash if they're going to bleed too much money. So we'll talk about Mccarten in the same way. So Dacos, he's gone up 182,000. Very nice for a rookie. He's not going to lose a lot of money, but is it worth, we're talking about holding him to around 14 if we're going to keep him through the buy, and he may leak a little too much money for what we want to do with him. He's kind of no longer a field option with better defender options. A lot of people have 5 defenders already, so the 6 is Mccarten. I got Coleman who can sit there. I got SDK who can sit there. You probably can get rid of Dacos, especially with a good defense rookie on the bubble this week. Mids. So I went with the Cripps McRae vice captain option, which actually were the worst. Well, outside of Miller, were actually the worst 2 options I could have gone. I'm worried about Cripps, but we just have to stick with him. And he's so highly owned. No one's trading out Cripps. It is what it is. He's dropped an 83 and a 78. Doesn't like playing Sydney teams. Okay. That's something that we'll learn. Hopefully he plays well against Collingwood. Hopefully he gets into some type of form. Maybe he needs the bye. They've got a round 12 bye, so get through Collingwood. If you can get 100, gets a rest, then plays Essendon and Richmond. Hopefully we can get some better scores out of Paddy Cripps because we're committed to Cripps. Really nice pick. And then I captained McRae because I figured, remember when I said, McRae's last few against, who was it? Was it GWS? I captained him against GWS. Jeez, that was why did I do that? Yeah, because he had ripped up against GWS, and I just for some reason ignored that. It's not GWS. Who did he play? Gold Coast. Yeah, in his last few against Gold Coast, he ripped up, and he scored 100. So I'm a bit frustrated by it, but I think I've captained him on his 2 worst weeks, and I don't think I've taken his score. I think I took some early captaincy rounds from him here. Yeah, I think I captained him here. And these games, I think we've had some really bad luck with McRae this week, but whatever. A lot of people captained Oliver. Well done there. Oh, yeah, obviously I traded in Laird. So 105. Happy with that. That's his lowest score of the year, but still happy with it. Second lowest score of the year. 93, you don't count. Still happy with this pick. Really like Laird. Yes, it hurts me in round 13, and yes, Walsh was probably the better option, but if I'm being totally honest with you, I'm bringing in Laird and Walsh this week and next week, regardless of what was happening. So I was doing Laird last week, Walsh this week, or Walsh this week, Laird this week, Walsh last week, Laird this week, whatever. Could have gone Bont maybe, but doesn't matter. End of the day, it's probably, he didn't move price. Walsh went up like 5k or something, so it's cost me nothing. So here's and we'll talk about Martin. So I've been playing Martin on field, and I've been big on this guy being a keeper at an 80 average. That has proven incorrect. So 59, 49. You have to remember these young players need rests. He's a first year player and he's 20 years old. Probably leading the Rising Star at the moment, but they're just desperate for a rest, some of these kids. So he plays 1 more week against Port, then has his bye. And the truth is, with those sort of numbers in the system, his break even is now 116. He probably won't make that against Port, not at Adelaide Oval. And he was a 100k rookie. So he's made 275k. We've lost 16k from him now. I think this is the week to trade Nick Martin. That's crazy that I'm saying that we trade Nick Martin at all. But as I mentioned with Dacos, Nick Martin's got to buy the week after next. So he's going to bleed another, say, 15k. So that's 30k you lost on him just to hold him for a score. And really, I can bring in Welsh, put him right there, and I'm losing no points. And even if you trade Nick Martin, you can play, I've got Saligo. You can play a Greg Clark there for probably not much difference. A Robbie McComb there for not much difference. If you've got him in the forward line, SDK, Mccarten, if you have Coleman like I do, Coleman, Morris Rioli, you got English back this week, Rosas. There are people available to cover Nick Martin. So don't stress. You want these rookies off the field. So Martin will go for me this week. Yeah, brought in Greg Clark, 55, whatever. I don't play him. No big deal. And Saligo, this has been an absolute revelation. So 50k increase now with a break even of minus 58 with a buy in 2 weeks. So I reckon we hold this guy through a lot of the late year. Handy cover. He looks an absolute jet, which is crazy to say when he dropped a 29 and a 7 in his first 2 AFL games. But in his last 2 games, he's looked really good. And I mean really good. Like, I can't say enough good things about Saligo. Might even get Geez, he might even go close to a Rising Star nomination this week. I'm not sure who's due, if there's any body of work nomination required, but he could go very close. He played some really good footy, and Mccarten looks nice too. Yeah, and then the forward line. So Dunkley's so reliable, man. Like, I love this guy. I think you just pick him every year, don't you? And he's just like, there's just nothing. You can't say enough good things about the bloke. Lowest score of 78, 97 once, just so reliable. Parker, Brody, Darcy Cameron, what a pick. And this is the one I really want to gloat about. And I know I can say this on the back of trading out Butters, who has done really well. I don't care. This is why new coaches, you've always got to trust. Cornelio, named first follower next to the Ruckman's name, 140. First game since Leon Cameron. What a statement by Cornelio. 140. Get him in. 25,000 people traded Stephen Cornelio, by the way. 25,000. That is a ridiculous trade. There it is. Now, if he doesn't do anything like that for the rest of the year, who cares? We're happy. DeConning on field, we're loving this from DeConning. 43 break even. Fine. This guy's doing really well. He lasts through to his bye, so we'll keep him probably in that position. And then Rosas, that's extremely lucky. If you were following Rosas' score, this is an extremely lucky score because he was in single digits by the time the last quarter came, and he got a lot of scaling because he played well when it mattered. But this is trash. This pick is trash. You can't put him on field. He's too risky. I hate it, and I really regret not getting Hobbs now. And Rioli looked good. We knew he'd bounce back after the poor performance that he did 2 weeks ago, so we knew he'd come back. That 7's out of the system now. His break even goes a bit lower. Hopefully get a bit more money out of him. So, what are we going to do this week? I am going to trade twice. So, my advice is to be really careful with who you trade this week. I know in the comments, a lot of people ask, trade advice or whatnot. Really be careful with who you're trading. You want to be looking at your buys and making sure you're not trading guys where you can get a free game. So my example of that would be, I'll trade Dacos this week and Martin. So Martin has a buy in round 12, wasn't it? In round 12. And Dacos has a buy in round 14. So be really careful that when you're trading guys who have buys in round 12, that you're not bringing in a guy who has a buy in round 13. And the reason for that is because you're then missing 2 weeks of footy, if that makes sense. So, is that the way to say it? Yeah, you don't want to be skipping buys, making your structure sort of go crazy as far as buy structure goes. So, if I have a look here, round 12, it's Carlton and Richmond are the main ones, and GWS. So they're the main ones. Essendon, if you count Nick Martin. So this is a nice week, round 12. You shouldn't have too many players out in this round, unless you've got Doherty. I suppose you could have Parrish. I suppose if you've got any Port players, if you've got Whitfield still, I suppose that's an issue there. Who else could you have? Boak? I don't know. I don't think you've got any Richmond players. So you look at round 12 and you say, all right, ideally that week I'm going to trade Gibcus out. And I'm going to try to get a player in who's not having a bye the week after. So Gibcus is probably going down to a guy, perhaps as a Carlton player, probably keep the same bye that week. Round 13 is the horror week because it's the Crows, Dogs, and Gold Coast, and West Coast, and Sydney. So, and Geelong. So some really big ones in round 13. So guys like Tom Stewart, Parker, Heaney, Dunkley, English, Bond, McRae, Laird, Keys, Miller, Mccarten. I said Heaney, didn't I? Mccarten, Dawson. That's probably all the big ones, isn't it? I can't think of any other names that I might have missed from that list, but that is huge names. Oh, Wits as well. So huge names up in round 13. So be really careful about this week. I don't even have 18 players in round 13. So keep that in mind. So if you start trading guys in, from Dogs. So say you want to get Bont. Say you like Bailey Smith because you think they're going to get DPP. I think Bailey Smith will. I don't think Bont will. Be really careful there. And then round 14. Sorry, guys, just had to have a really big sneeze there. Or if you're going to trade in Heaney, say you didn't have Heaney, say you don't have Tuke Miller, keep that in mind too. So be really careful about how you're going to do that. Tom Stewart, I don't think I mentioned Tom Stewart. Be really careful in round 13. And maybe it's a case of you're targeting Heaney, Tom Stewart. Maybe you're targeting them for the week after, Bont and Smith as well. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just had to pause for a tick. Yeah, work from home vibes. So where were we? Round 14. So we've got, round 14. Round 14 is the easiest one to cover. It's Melbourne, yes. It's Brisbane, yes. And it's Collingwood and Hawthorn. So there are some big names, Fremantle too. There are some big names, but it's not a huge deal because you've already brought in guys who are playing 13. The issue is there's no rookies. So Coleman, Dacos, you'll have got them off by then, you'd hope. You'd have got Gibcus off by then as well, who was already playing though, so it's not cover. So it's really just Brody, Cameron, Petrarca, Oliver, Neal. So there's 5 primos missing, and Sicily, 6 primos you'll miss that week, which is not ideal. And Gawn if you have Gawn, so it's another tough one. So to go through with that, this is why we'll do this. Mccarten, and what we'll do is we will send Dacos down, and also we can trade him too, can't we? Doesn't matter. So we're going to get rid of Dacos because we like these 3. Their break-even's quite high. I don't want to lose any more money on those guys. It's very nice money. And we can have 2 choices here. So we can go have a look. The obvious one is Luke Cleary. I'm bringing him in. He's the only defender I wanted. I didn't like Buku Karmas. I liked Luke Cleary. So in he comes. Coleman probably sits on the field for him. And now the reason I'm not bringing in someone like Doherty, I don't like Doherty anymore, but the reason I'm not bringing in a premium defender is there's not many. I just don't know who to bring in, and I want a round 12 player. So yes, their buy is really close, but I want round 13 covered with a player who's playing, and I want and also Walsh's break even is quite high, so low rather. So realistically, I want to bring in Walsh. That finishes my midfield. No one else seems ideal. If you have round 13 nicely covered, which you don't, then Bont is the ideal pick. I really like Bont, and I want to get Bont. If I'm being honest with you, I really want Bont in my team, especially if he gets DPP. That just looks so appealing. But with English and Dawson as my sort of pods, I can't afford to have Bont, not in round 13. Or Bailey Smith too, for the same reason. DPP, really flexible in the forward line. But all good. Instead, we have to go with Walsh, who is more than fine to pick up. Again, I'm going to continue to ignore Mills. Mills doesn't exist. And we're going to keep ignoring it. You know, Sam Walsh for 609. We've got to be pretty happy with it. Playing some good footy. A lot of people might look into Brad Crouch as well, which I don't mind at all. If you want to, as well, if you want a really unique pick, that is a super pot at 2.5% picked. But only 3 less than Sam Walsh, who probably comes in a lot of teams this week. So that's what my trades look like. I still have another 269 in hand. I hit complete there. Yep, this number is alarming. 12. It really is scary. But it's okay. So we've got the 5 here. We've got SDK covering. That's nice. We throw English, so which means Hayes sits to the bench, which is fine, assuming Bruce comes back this week. I hope he does, because the DMP hurt me so much. But now at least we've got some ruck coverage. English is supposed to be back this week, so touch wood he does. We keep playing DeConning here. We play Coleman in place of Cleary. This guy's putting out good numbers, but Mccarten and Coleman can be the defense, and that's my mids playing. So we probably emergency Saligo over Cripps. I don't really have any loop option anymore. All my players are playing, which means I have to nail the captain, which is cool. It's pretty easy captain this week. McRae against West Coast. You just take that, or it's St Kilda to play North. So it really, no secret here. I think you just look at who's playing West Coast and North, and you captain accordingly. So if Steele was playing, you'd captain him against North. But I think you just captain McRae against West Coast. You could even be a real big balls player and captain English against West Coast too, with no ruck. So Bailey J. Williams is a joke. And then just for fun, we'll go Neil as vice captain. Not against GWS. Probably go Dawson as vice captain. He's putting out some really good numbers on a small stadium, so there'll be a lot of intercepts for him to grab. And that's about it. So let us know what you want to do. That's how the team looks. I think we keep building De Koning here. Hopefully he keeps getting named, by the way. Geelong are really dangerous with that type of stuff. We keep running through those guys. What are we going to do next week? No trades next week, I don't think. So it'll probably be a short video where we just go through the lines, discuss buy structure again. Feel free to throw any questions in next week about that. But there's no one really. I mean, there's Gibcus. So we could prepare Gibcus, but I think we want to have Gibcus play in round 13 and 14 for us because he's a round 12 buy player, was he? Yep. So we want Gibcus to play in round 13 and 14, I think. Yeah, so I don't think we do a lot because these are all early rookies. Maybe Sam Hayes. I don't think Lysette's due back anytime soon. He might be soonish. I think when's Port? Round 12 buy as well. So we could do something with Hayes in round 12. If there's a ruck around. The handy thing that we get is that Darcy Cameron in round 12 will get DPP. He'll become a ruck, which is good coverage for Bruce and English. Perhaps we could trade Hayes to a cheap forward ruck player. Perhaps we'll find one around just to cash out his numbers. And that way we can have Cameron sort of swing across for those times that Bruce is laid out. We'll get another forward through. Maybe we'll have to keep SDK for a lot longer through one of these guys. But yeah, I don't really have any huge plans now. I need one more forward. I've got English. It's probably going to be Heaney, or it's going to be Gorn. Depends. It really does depend here. I think I need one more forward just to make this combination work. So the English, Darcy Cameron, Bruce combination. I need one more forward to make that work. So Bont, if he gets forward status, is an absolute must-have. Otherwise, I'll go Heaney. In defense, I think I'm actually relying on this crutch too much. The Coleman, Mccarten, SDK, Dacos, Gibcus crutch. I think everyone's been using that, and we're just going to keep coasting it. It's been way too easy to do. What defenders are we going to get? And let's do it because you might want to get a defender in this week. Let's not be greedy. Let's help out the boys. So we'll just hit defenders, and we'll go by the average. So Hewitt Sicily. So Tom Stewart I'd like, but he is when's his buy? Round 13 buy. So really awkward, but I like Tom Stewart. Super reliable. I really like Sinclair. Actually, I love Sinclair. Probably, I highly recommend getting him in round 12 buy. So he could be one that I turn Gibcus into in round 12. More than likely, that's what happens. Yeah, Doherty, he's put out some pretty lowish numbers recently. Has he? 78. You want to keep an eye on this. Doherty for 540 is pretty nice, though. Yeah, if you haven't got Dawson, get him immediately. Yes, round 13 buy, though. Witherden, don't trust. Houston, no. Crisp, no. Well, would you have a look at that? So at the end of the day, Hewitt, Sicily, if I get Sinclair, short Dawson, I was right. Crisp was not as good as the guys that I traded him for, so I was right in the end. Cumming I like, Dale I like. Yeah, I don't think I like any more of these. But we will keep an eye on any midfielders that might become. We might get a. Let's have a look. We might get a curveball, is what I'm trying to say, with someone here being defense eligible. Let's just have a look through. So Bont might get forward status. Smith will get forward status. Yeah, we got Sinclair there. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys, and this is around the average where you start falling out of the top 10 average in defense. I don't think any of these guys will get defense status. Kennedy might get something extra. Yeah, and then you start to get into the 90s, so it's not worth looking at. And I wonder if there's any forwards who have been playing as defense as well. So no. Yeah, I just don't think we're going to get anyone in defense attractive through DPP. Unless there's something here even. No. So a bit of an exercise to look through there. We're not going to get anyone in defense. So the current defenders that are there are probably the best defenders available. I think Sinclair is one I'll take, and then whoever else you want to get. Go your hardest, whoever else you want to have. You probably already got Chris, so just finish it off with Sinclair. That's a really nice price. I'll probably go Sinclair and Doherty, which is what I've been planning for the rest of the year. I'll finish with mids, and my forward will be Heaney, unless it's Bont or Bailey Smith. So yeah, cheers guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know how you went this week. Yeah, have a good one.